Hello, governors. I just need to sort out. I need to make sure.
There we go. That's probably better. There we go. We have Adam. Hello, Adam. If you are there, Adam, please let me know if you can hear me correctly. I had a bit of an issue the other day of my mic not being on the right one. So let me know if that is... If this mic is switched on. I'm assuming it is, rather than like the other day. I've had a bit of a shuffle around in the room. I'm making a display because all the cool kids have a display. So I'm building up a display of shoes. 6, 3, 2, 1, and 1. My favourite shoes. But yeah, I've got them up there. Hope you're all doing well. I hope that is... Yeah, I think we're all right. We're all good. So it is Thursday, the 4th of September already. And, I didn't do my grabber. Shock. Breaking news. Sun rises. There we go. Got you. I've hooked you. You're in. Surprise alerts, everything. Yeah. Bah. Right. So all the boring stuff now. I just cracked open knockout. Now, a few things. One, we are a month away from Coaches Congress. So we've got a month till Twickenham. We have had our 3 winners chosen from Heather last week. So the tickets are on their way to them at the moment, which is awesome. I've seen Pedro and Jason and Nicholas at GymSync all doing promotions as well, which is awesome. It's good to see a load of the people from the British Isles. I can't say Brits. I can't say United Kingdomers. So people from the British Isles all coming together to promote the event. So which is going to be lovely. We're a month away. Me and Jon are going to be there. So that's going to be quality. And we've got the rugby match. And we've got a load of people there that are going to be fucking just on it. The more I see, the more I'm excited about it. It's going to be so cool. So yeah, I can't wait for that. And Hannah's going. Hannah mid 2. So I'm looking forward to seeing her again. Need to catch up. Hello, Steve. Steve, are you coming to the Congress or are you busy? I can't remember. I think you said you were. Now, talking to Steve, I have got something. I hope he doesn't mind me bringing this up. Do you mind me bringing this up, Steve? Tell me. I'm going to add it and then tell me no if I can't. Okay. Can I bring up what you sent me the other day? I was going to bring it up anyway if you weren't here. I think you know what I mean. You're offering, unless it's going to change. Let me know. And I can just discuss it. Good morning, Jethro. Jethro Tull. Hope you're well. Buon giorno. Good morning, Jake, in Italian. It's going to change. All right, I won't. That's cool. That's fine. I won't bring it up. I didn't do a load of work to get it ready. We're all good. So anyway, keep an eye on Defiant. If you are a specifically UK or European based gymnasium and you found yourself in a bit like I said, yeah, I totally agree. I won't bring it up. If you find yourself as a gym, and Jethro, you're probably in a position here as well in the US of A, the idea that free publicity, you want members to be connected to your culture. What better way than merch? What better way than merchandise? People feel connected. Hello, Jody. Hope you're doing well. I'm going to come on to that because, and I'm going to write that down. USA Congress video. I'll bring that on in a minute. Cult you are. What am I talking about? Brought to you by ADHD. What are we talking? Yeah, if you're a gym and you are You know, intrinsically, as an affiliate owner or affiliate manager or coach, you know that being part of your tribe is really important. People want to wear your brand when you go out, your version of our brand with CrossFit, and then your gym name that you came up with. It's your personality. It's you as a culture. It's your collection, right? Just like jerseys or T-shirts from clubs, people walk around with football jerseys on all the time. We want to feel connected. We want people to know what we do. Anyway, I found myself in a position with this where I was having to go to companies, I was having to go to warehouse distributors, I was having to go to people that didn't really know my product or didn't know my industry that I was in. I was having to get print quotes. I was having to design it myself. I was having to work between designers that didn't really know much about what I did or what I wanted. And then I'd have to decide, right, do I have the cash to buy all this product, then stock it up in my gym on display? Do I have the cash this month? No, I don't. Right. I have to do pre-orders. So I have to get in contact with the company, make sure the color schemes are right, everything like that. Then I'd have to go away, design an advert, put it onto my members page, start getting collections, start getting the money in, budget for that, then put the order in. People change their minds, Excel spreadsheets, blah, 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 long. Then you get the order percent and some of it's NAF and one of it's wrongly printed, wrong size, blah, blah, blah. Hello, Corey. It's just a faff. And then the people wear it about 2 months after you've come up with this idea, right? Now, what would have been bloody brilliant would have been a portal online with my brand name in it, with my gym. So CrossFit Eton was where I had, and then CrossFit Windsor. Well, I couldn't call it that because there's one in Ontario, fucking Canada. I was in actual Windsor, the Windsor, i.e. the castle, i.e. the fucking Windsor family, but I couldn't call mine Windsor. Some bloke in Ontario had done it. Anyway, you get the point. I had to do all that work. Now, what would have been amazing is if a portal with my brand name on it, my members click through, or non-members, right? People can click through to that website. Then on that website appears all the merchandise that I want with the designs, with the colorways, with my designs that have been worked on at the price. They then order it themselves. It then gets put through and sent directly to the individual or the gym, depends on what they want. And then they collect it. I, as a gym owner, I can, okay. I, as a gym owner, have had critical input, but I haven't micromanaged every damn step of the way. I haven't had to. It's saved me a lot of time. And then let's say I get a tiny little snippet of the profit that went from it, okay? Let's just say I do for the time and the effort, okay? And I'm pushing into the ecosystem. Now, imagine, if you will, a company that could do that for you. Now, where are we? La da 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 da. I should have had this ready. This, my friends, is the answer. Okay, so again, if you are UK or European based, this is the answer to all your problems. Okay, so Slevin, run by Nicholas Denby, who is also Gym Sync. I've had him on the show. Steve's had him on the show as well. He will also be at Coaches Congress. They have designed Boring Cardio Club design, which is, I love it. Love, 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 love. These are the designs. These are the tank tops. These are the crop tops. All of the everything they want. Now let's just say that I want to go for. Let's pick one. I'm going to go for this one. I like that colorway. Select options. I choose an option. Oh, has it come through to the right page? Just want to make sure it's followed me here. Yeah. I click on there. I click on the option. I'm going for XL because I'm a bloody large lad. Okay. And then I click on. Oh, you don't want to do that, do you? And then I click on there. So website again, I'm coming through. And then when I've ordered, it gets delivered. The gym at the end of each month knows who's ordered what because they're wearing it in the gym. They get free advertising. It's part of their tribe. And it's all done, all serviced by your loving neighborhood watchman, Steve at Defiant Co. Yeah. So Coming very soon is a different pricing structure. Here we go. And at the bottom, we create a sponsor section, so you let your members advertise it. Oh, that is a massive win, right? So, do you know what, Steve? That's a great point. I brought this up the other day in person to someone. At my old gym, I had a pinboard right near the front desk where everyone kind of congregated. Pinboard, and people used to put their business cards up. So whatever your trade was, whether you're a graphic designer, whether you're a plumber, whether you're a fucking architect, whether a lawyer, whatever, we had all those people's business cards up on a pinboard right near the gym door. So we knew we had about 150 members. If everyone puts their trade up there, people can use the traders at the gym. Keep it in the tribe. Keep it in the family. One example, well, that's a good thing. So, yeah, having the members advertising their businesses as well is a massive point. That's awesome, Steve. That's great. Great idea. Forever Fierce does it in the US. Awesome. Good to hear. Good to hear. And again, it's people within our community. So Steve at Defiant Co is doing a hell of a lot of community work, going around doing the series, doing the shows, and it keeps it, keeps the ecosystem going. So that's awesome. There. Is that C3PO on your credenza? Is that what that's called, Jodie? Credenza? No, it's not. It is. A little skeleton vital organs thing that I got to show the kids. Actually, funny you say that. So we were talking about tendons and ligaments and bones this morning. So we did a bit of an anatomical lesson this morning with our homeschooling. At which point the girls next door were screaming about not having to go to school or not wanting to go to school. And mine were in their pajamas and we were learning about tendons and ligaments. Which is awesome, which is nice to do. Now they're off to jiu-jitsu where they get to put into practice, which is lovely. Slevin has gone live to awesome, amazing next week. Yes. I love chicken tendons. So in actual fact, we've got some chicken drumsticks and thighs on the bone, and we're going to dissect them later on their back. So we're going to get a little tweezer set out, and we're going to dissect it and have a look at all of that, which is cool. There's so many good resources out there for people that kind of do homeschool now, and there's this really good one. I'm trying to get some contact with them to come on the show. They're called Oak Academy. They got the entire syllabus for UK schooling broken down into key stages, so kind of year groups that we have over here, and then subjects within there, PowerPoint presentations, notes, quizzes, all sorts of stuff per each individual one. They got thousands of units to go through, so you can pick and choose from day to day what we go through with the kids. And it's great, yeah. But we made a bit of a big decision on the weekend. I'm not a good dad. Just basically, I was talking to my kids the other day actually. What happened building up to it? Something had happened building up to it, and oh, that was it. We were telling them about their role and their responsibility and what they're supposed to be doing. Good morning, Mr. Ramirez. Hope you're well. We all have our role to play. And I said their job at the moment as kids, you've got two jobs. You've got to have fun and you've got to learn. As long as everything you're doing fits into one or both of those, that's what being a kid's about, right? And we were talking about this because they were a bit drifty that day. It was a bit like me, not doing much. So I set them some tasks to do. And then I said, but you shouldn't get praised or saluted or worshipped or, given credit for something that should be a basic principle of your role and your value, right? Your value set and what you're doing. And I went on a bit of a rant with them, not a rant, but we sat down having a chat. I said that parents shouldn't be, this is going to sound shit when it comes out loud, we shouldn't be thanked, we shouldn't be praised, we shouldn't be told, yay, you're amazing. That's the standard we set as parents. That's what you signed up for. You shouldn't get, oh, thank you so much for all your hard work, thanks for going to work, thanks for looking after me. That's your fucking job. You don't get thanked for that. We don't want thanks. We should want to do it. It's part of our role. And this whole worship thing, and oh, aren't I a good parent? And then putting it online about, oh, look at me at the beach looking at rocks with my kids because I'm such a good parent. Shut up. Just do it. Keep that shit to yourself. If you go above and beyond, if you like fucking save someone from a burning house, and then you write a fucking essay on burning houses, and then it goes and wins the Nobel Prize, then, you know, promote it online. But don't talk about basic shit. Like, it's just simple stuff. You shouldn't be praised for that. That's basics. That's just a standard. Yeah, exactly. The reward is for you, man, not for everyone else. You're supposed to take care because you... But people want thanks. People want, like, praise. It's that your kids should never fucking praise you or thank you for working hard for them. That's your job. They should know it, respect it, and see the value in it. But you do not want to be thanked for that crap. It doesn't sit well with me. It's not what should be the emphasis there. They should learn from you about working hard and having value and having input into society and family. That's where they learn. And like you said, the reward is seeing your kids grow up to be amazing people, you know. And it's all a lot of this, and I've heard so many people talk about this, a lot of it comes down to the parenting. No such thing as a good parent. You're either a parent or a bad. Yeah, exactly. That's the standard. You're a parent. Parents do parent stuff, and if you're not doing that, you're a bad parent. That's it. Yeah, exactly. And deep down, I think everyone knows that. We just got into the habit of wanting praise online for shit by strangers we met once or haven't ever met that give us a like. Do you remember years ago, Kanye West put in a thing about social media saying, can we get rid of the like button? Oh, man. That would be a completely fucking different world, wouldn't it? Especially for teenagers, sorry. Anyway. What was I going on about? Yeah, so skeleton, dividing up tendons, ligaments, Oak Academy. I want to get Oak Academy on. I want to speak to them and understand where they're going, because it's such a good tool to have. And on the island, we've got well over 250 kids being homeschooled now, which is quite a high percentage of schooling. Now, one thing that they did introduce this school term, which started literally like yesterday, was the first day back at school for the kids in the UK and here. On the island, they've got rid of 75% of processed foods, no puddings, so no like sponges or cakes or cookies or any shit in the schools, in the school cafeteria at lunchtimes or snacks or anything. It is all fruit or nothing in the school halls. So, and it's all locally produced or sourced food from the island. And something like 90% of the meat being used and sold is from the Isle of Man as well. How fucking cool is that? The government have taken these steps over last year and implemented it over the summer holidays, and it started in all the cafeterias in the schools across the island, which is a massive step. It's so good to see, and that's the benefit of having such a small micro economy and a government. Everything can be turned around so fast, which obviously can go the wrong way, but generally speaking, because the life here is a lot more rural, a bit more quiet, a bit more tribal based, a lot more community, things don't tend to go in the wrong direction too often. So it's lovely to see. And if you need any kind of reference on that, just listen to either Kringle or Cavendish talk when they're doing press interviews and stuff. The Manx are a different, they have a different way of life, which is lovely. That's why I moved here. Anyway, good. Right. So how did I get onto this the other day? I can't remember how I got onto it. Anytime someone says fruit on the island, I think pineapples and mangoes and whatnot. Yeah, the chocolate. To be honest, though, we're getting a rainforest here. The government have approved, because we've got like very, very good conditions for rainforest. So they're going to make an artificial one here. We're going to grow it. Now, I want gorillas put in there. Now, I'll tell you why I want gorillas put in there. Because how cool would it be to have wild gorillas just in a forest on the Isle of Man? We've already got fucking what they call wallabies going around the island because they escaped from the zoo. So I want gorillas, man. They won't escape. They won't torment people. They'll stay in their lane. They'll stay in their forest. Just put a fence around it if you want. They're like sort of Jurassic Park, but Gorilla Park. Yeah. Imagine going through and having a tour where you walk through and you see these gorillas and just, yeah, awesome. That's what I want. Anyway, so the other day, exactly. That's what I want. Is it that hard? Is it that hard to ask? Is it that much of a tall order? Could be a gamble. Well, I'm a risk taker, yeah. The idealist, exactly. Imagine a gorilla on a motorbike. Yeah. We're not getting silly. So, Gladiators. I know you guys in the US, you started the phenomenon in the late 80s. We quickly caught on, had our own UK Gladiators in the early 90s. I think 91, I think we started, 91, 92. Had a few seasons of that. It went away, came back in the early 2000s. It was shit because it was on Sky and it was rubbish. They tried to reinvent it. Now, 3 years ago, they brought it back. And what they've done, they've realized, right? Me, I'm 40, as you know. Steve, 40. Nick, 40. James Townsend, 40. Who else did I talk to recently that was 40? Let's just say if we couldn't know, it's 40. Just wanted to crowbar that in. A lot of people 40. Now, a lot of us have young kids. We want nostalgia from the Gladiators from the 90s. So they brought back Gladiators exactly as it was, exactly the same. So we're like, yeah, even the music. Da, 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 da. And so we sit down and watch it with our kids. It's brilliant. Now, 1, 2, 3. At least 3 of them that I know of. You're 48. Well, you're old. Looking good for 48, Corey. 3 of them are CrossFitters. You got Cherie from Scotland. You got Zach George from BFG. And then you've got Emily Steele, who is a CrossFitter as well. So those 3 are UK CrossFitters. Okay. Oh, don't worry, sir. We've already got those back as well over here. Now we've got 3 CrossFitters. Now, the other 10, let's say, are predominantly made up of sprinters, bodybuilders, and powerlifters. Okay. And 5 of the Gladiators from last year have had either ligaments blown or tendons gone. A sprinter, 2 bodybuilders, who else? A powerlifter and a power builder. Now, 5 of those have all had joints gone. No, in actual fact, Corey, it was a lady lifter, very good powerlifter. She is in the GB team, or she was. And funny enough, her stage name, her gladiator name was Athena, she was my daughter's favorite because her name is Athena, obviously, as well. Now, those 5 have all had ligaments gone and tendons gone and blown. The CrossFitters have done all right. The CrossFitters are doing all right. They're still good. And I was thinking about the recruitment process for this. Now, there was one guy called the Giant who, it makes sense, right? He is fucking huge. There's a guy called Apollo who's a rugby player. They're all of these. There's 3 guys over 6'6", and then you got another guy who's a professional rower, or was. I think his name's Thor. He's come in. He's over 6'6" as well. So you've got these fucking ginormous men coming in, right? Zach George looks small and he's 6'1", I think, compared to them. Now, are they prepared physically for what Gladiators entails? And the other thing, the contestants that have been coming on, right? And this is where I went with it. The contestants coming on every week when they came on, every week when they introduced themselves at the beginning, at least 2 out of the 4 of them, because you're obviously 2 male, 2 female, they train at CrossFit gyms. They go, I train at a CrossFit gym, or I'm a CrossFitter, or I am at this fitness gym, or whatever. And you'd look and it's a CrossFit gym, right? And all of them, both male and females that have won both years, have been CrossFit, right? CrossFitters, the winners of the series, right? And then the best all-round gladiators on the series are CrossFitters, and the ones that haven't got injured are CrossFitters. Now, what is it that we're doing? What is it that we're doing that we know about that we're not clinging on to? Now, if I am CrossFit, I'm looking at that. If I'm in the media team, or if and I want to promote what we're looking at and what's best, you have got millions of people every Saturday night for, I think it's about a 12-week run, watching Gladiators, and you're seeing these people rolling up talking about the fact that they are CrossFitters, or the athletes on there, the Gladiators, talking about the fact that they're CrossFitters and they lift this amount of weight or they do this, right? Yep, that's part of it. Constantly varied. Now, initially, and this is part of it, right? So we do a lot of lateral, a lot of axial movement, a lot of twisting, a lot of up and down. We push, pull, throw, skip, jump, lift, pull, gymnastics, everything. We've got the whole boxes ticked, right? Gladiators is a very public, I'm going to call it Hollywood for lack of a better word, way of demonstrating all-round fitness. And funny enough, it's down to our interpretation of fitness as well. It fits really well. The only issue we have is when it's contact one-on-one. We don't really train that in CrossFit too often. So that's the only thing lacking. Now, this brought me on to, I asked ChatGPT to define fitness. And it said some convoluted way. A lady lifter hates her. Okay. It came up with this answer. Now, I can actually bring it up, the question and the answer it gave me. Let's have a look. Fitness. Where did it go? Oh, define fitness. Here we go. Define fitness. Okay, let me find the answer that it gave. Okay. Now, I mean, I went real deep dive with this, by the way. Now, I asked, please define fitness for me. The answer they gave me was, fitness is a state of being physically and mentally capable of performing tasks, activities, or challenges effectively and efficiently. It reflects the body's ability to meet the demands of daily life, work, recreation, and emergencies, whilst maintaining health and resilience. Now, I like that, but it doesn't go too into specific about how we do that. And then it gives a few different reasons. It says, depending on context, it can be defined more specifically. General health or medical context, sports or athletic context, and then underneath it, it says CrossFit has also defined it, and it went into CrossFit. So I asked the question after that, using your definition above, blah, 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 please rank. And I put in, I think it was 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different common gym training methodology brands. Please rank these in order in which are most effective against your definition above of fitness. And those were High Rocks, CrossFit, F45, Orange Theory, Barry's Bootcamp, Spin, and Les Mills. Bit of a throwback there. And it gave me some answers. And then, do you know what it did? Do you know what it did after it gave me a long, convoluted thing? It told me, gave me loads of bullet points and factors and what it does, what it doesn't. Would you like me to make this into a visual chart, a radar plot, showing how each method spreads across the 10 skills? Yes, please, ChatGPT. And this is what came up. Okay. Now, I really bloody love this. This is stuff that's like, for me, I'm a very visual learner. And these kind of things really help me. So hang on. So, in case you can't read it, Fitness method comparisons across the 10 general physical skills. And we've got the 7 doodahs up here. The 7 methodologies up here. So, or training facilities. CrossFit, High Rocks, F45, Orange Theory, Barry's Bootcamp, Les Mills, or Spin. Now, this is the first slide. Oh, you love a slide, don't you? Now, we've got the 10 general physical skills around the outside. Now, let's have a look at, let's say, Les Mills. So we've got the orange line here down the middle. You're meeting halfway. There's very, very central. It's low across all of them, and it's slightly towards stamina and endurance, which is, you know, a bit of coordination, which is fine because they do a bit of bouncy body pump stuff. Now, the closest one, where are we? Now, the purple line here is High Rocks. So this purple line, hang on. This line. So it goes up here, goes around. It follows the same line here, and it goes around and up and up and up to stamina and across. So it basically fills down here. That is what it's given per its definition, looking at all of the testing and the methodology that goes with it. This is what it's plotted. It took about an hour of input in and feedback and language modeling and everything like that to get this, by the way. So I want to focus more on hours. So the only one it kind of dips down on slightly is flexibility, but it's still a lot damn higher than the others because we obviously emphasize mobility and strength and full range of movement, don't we, over here? So that is where this comes in. And this is a beautiful demonstration of that. Now, I can, where are we? I can bring up individual images. So I've got CrossFit, High Rocks. Now I want to bring up High Rocks because it's not really that clear. So this is the High Rocks piece. So this is where High Rocks comes into it. Obviously, it's massively stamina and endurance based. We all know that. But this area around here is lacking. Now, if I'm trying to prep people per ChatGPT's definition of what fitness is, we are lacking all of this area. We are lacking all of that area. If I pull up, let's bring up another one. Who do we want to bring up? I did, Adam. I did this. Well, I say I did. ChatGPT. F45 kind of looks like a William Bollocks. That one. Look. So F45. Love it. So if you've never been to an F45 studio, at least 2 days a week. So usually Tuesdays and Thursdays are the power or strength days or heavy days, where it's still circuit based. It's still 45-minute class, which is usually about 35 to 38 minutes of actual work time, interval based, usually 40 on, 20 off, or 30 if it's a strength day. That's where you're getting this, but the predominant emphasis is over this side, the stamina endurance. However, we're still in that moderate category across the power, speed, coordination, agility, and balance. Yeah. Oh, I love that one. Right, so let's move on to another one. I won't do them all because it's there's 7 of them, but Les Mills isn't worth even bringing it up. Absolute twaddle. So I'll tell you what, I'll bring this one up. It's all of them all together now. Now, when you put them all side by side, these two look a bit like Willie's. So that's Spin, Orange Theory. You can see some similarity between Les Mills, Orange Theory, and Spin. There's obviously a gap over here towards stamina and endurance on the right-hand side. So let me read that definition of fitness again, right? So Fitness is a state of being physically and mentally capable of performing tasks, activities, or challenges effectively and efficiently. It reflects the body's ability to meet the demands of daily life, work, recreation, and emergencies whilst maintaining health and resilience. Now, why on earth would you limit your fitness compared with these, as opposed to CrossFit, where you are literally getting all of it done to a high degree, other than flexibility, which is still at the moderate? Why would you, if you've got an 8-year-old child, I'm saying that because I have, if you've got an 8-year-old child and you want them fit for life. Now, when we talk about fitness, we're fit for purpose. Fitness is fit for purpose. Our purpose is fit for life and everything that it throws at us, from emergency to recreation to sport, right? Why would I want to limit their potential fitness, as per that definition, by focusing on any of these? Why would I not? Hello, Craig. Why would I not want my child preparing for life using this methodology, which also has an incredible culture and is really fucking fun? If I've got an 80-year-old grandma who's just had her knees replaced, who needs to move, who needs to fucking extend her life and independence, why would I limit her to doing any of this? Why wouldn't I get her doing CrossFit? Because we vary by degree, not kind. My 8-year-old daughter, my 80-year-old grandma, and me in the middle at 40 can all do the best method profile of fitness as per that definition, and be part of an incredible culture that, by the way, has a very cool way of expressing that if you want at the sport level, which none of these have except High Rocks, which is the sport. No real methodology that goes with it specifically. Why would I want to do anything else? What could possibly draw me away from that? And this is why it's called a cult, because once you're in, you don't really want to leave. And there's a reason for that. We tick all the boxes except a little bit of flexibility. Just do some extra stretching. We've got it made. We've got it all there. This is such a cool way of visually seeing differences between all of them. And I loved that. And I've got ChatGPT to thank for that. Goals. Yeah, it is goal specific. But what I'm talking about here, the Clooney's Adventures. Good morning, Mr. or Mrs., whoever you are. The goal here, so this here is fitness. Fitness for purpose, fitness for life, health, which is the definition that I gave a minute ago. I don't know if you just joined, but I gave a definition. If I want, yeah, exactly. Now, clearly there's going to be individual circumstances within our wider, broader, global culture that deviate away from that. Good evening. You're Australian, are you? Hello. Or Kiwi or Samoan. Actually, it's Samoa. No, they're... What time's Samoa on? Interesting. I don't know. It's that weird, like, grey area between really far behind us or really far away from us. Anyway, we're GMT. We're 0. We're the standard. But we set the standard here, guys, with CrossFit. We've got it made. Everyone else is specializing. If you want general South Sea Island, awesome. Okay. If you want to be fit for life, fit for purpose, be able to do anything. I was talking to my kids about this this morning, actually talking about tendon and ligaments. This is what brought us onto about Gladiators the other day. We've got it made. The reason here, and if I put bodybuilding into here, actually, that could be a good idea. I'll add that in. Look, and here's the thing, right? So goal setting is really important. You've got to always have goals. So some people's goals, I would hazard a guess and say most people, one of their underlying goals at all times is to just live and survive a little bit longer. And if that is the case, hello, Adam. If that is the case, then we've got it done. We've got it made. If you do CrossFit effectively and well enough at a decent gym, you can hit that goal. Now, sport isn't health. Sport is not health. Health is health. Sport is not health. This is the tricky, nuanced bit. WFP isn't a trainer methodology, I don't suppose, is it? Is an event. The way that I see WFP is it's like the Dubai Throwdown or Crash Crucible. It's just got a lot more money and it's a 3-parter. That's all I see the WFP. Nothing more than that. Nothing less than that. It is what it is. That's my take on WFP. It's an event series. But yeah, you're not an elite sports person and particularly healthy. I know a lot of elite sports people. I married one. They're not healthy. Our tricky bit is the which we talked about last week, the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum, which got a little bit of pushback by a couple of people, but I don't think I articulated the question very well. Okay, squatting goals. If your goal is to squat and you want to test that, you enter a powerlifting competition, which brings me on to mine. I am competing on Saturday, so I have got 2 days. In 2 days, I will have weighed in and I will know if I've made the cutoff for 93 kilo category. Now, I weighed in last night at 93.9, down from 97.8. So I'm down just over 4 kilos in 3 weeks, and I've got 1 kilo to go. So I have got a bit of salt cut back tonight, and then tomorrow I am limiting myself to one of them for the day, where I'm normally having 3, and no fiber for the next couple of days. So today and tomorrow, no fiber really. And that will tip me under. Now, does that sound like healthy behavior? Does that sound like something you or your kids doing? Does that sound like longevity? It doesn't. But what it does sound like is me lifting a lot of weight under a certain weight category I need to hit on Saturday. Sports does not necessarily equal health. So one question. So I'm going to follow up my I'm going to do a series of the sickness, wellness, fitness continuum posts, and I am going to ask on there, exclusive preview. I'm going to ask on there, where is on the continuum, where is the point on there that tips over to the unhealthy? So if you can visualize sickness, wellness, fitness continuum, if you think about games athletes as being right at the end, near the end, they're not perfectly fit. They're right near the end there. Superman, Superwoman, Wonder Woman, whoever would be right at the other end. Top elite level human performance. Can't get any better. Games athletes are just shy of that. Now, where do you pinpoint the tipping point when it goes back into unhealthy? Because the introduction of the games completely, in my mind, changed the narrative on that continuum. Because if you would have had peak human health at the end of it as fitness, you wouldn't have had the games at the other end. How much are we going to lift? Oh, hang on, do this one first. There is a DI invites for those who retire but can't let go. Yeah, fair enough. I don't know. I'll be perfectly honest. I know Colt Mertens is in it. I know Kringle's in it. I know Lucy Campbell's in it. I know those two because they're British, so I follow them. I know Ricky Garard's in it. I know Austin Hatfield. I know those two because people posted videos of their equipment breaking. But other than that, I don't really know who's in it. And when you say about the D invites and who retire, Pringle, Campbell are in it, and they did pretty well at the games. Tia's not in, obviously. Ariel Owen, I don't know. I think she was, wasn't she? Daniel Brandon came fourth. She's there. So in actual fact, I think from the female perspective, and obviously aren't like Hopper, Colton Mertens, Pepper, Sprague, aren't all that lot at the WFP as well. So I think, I think they've bagged quite a lot of the elite, but I could be wrong. Again, I'm only guessing here. Okay, cool. Yeah. If they're going in just to get some easy money. I mean, they're big names, aren't they? But yeah. Right, this one. How much are you going to lift? Right, here's the question. Now, the reason I didn't want to do a really quick cut towards the end of this week and leave it a week, which could be done like the fighters do. The difference being with fighters, they get 24 hours to rehydrate, refuel, grow, and get the glycogen up. With lifting events, we have 2 hours. So I weigh in at 11 a.m. on Saturday, which is, we're at about 12 p.m. now. So about an hour ago, but 2 days. So I've got about 48 hours. We weigh in 2 hours before we compete. Now, imagine being dehydrated, underfueled, no energy in you, just to make weight and then try and refuel up and hit maximal load. It's not ideal. So I did weigh close to 98. I'm now under 94, so I'll hit 93 for weigh-in, but I've got to be really damn careful. Now, if all goes to plan, and this only becomes apparent after you've weighed in and you start fueling up and you get in the warm-up area, if it all goes to plan, I'm going to hit 190 squat as a minimum, 130 bench as a minimum, and then 215 deadlift as a minimum. So 535 total. And the reason I want that is because that total qualifies me for the M1, which is 40 to 49 English champs in early December. So if I can hit those numbers in the 93 kilo category at my age, I get to go to English champs. If I don't hit them, I've had fun, I've trained, and I've done a competition. So all in all, I'm happy with what we're going. Yeah, I mean, they're all right. The reason I wanted to hit under 93 kilos is because if I'm in the next weight category up against the 104s, I then have to, the total to qualify is about 680. So 150 kilos on top of that total. And there is absolutely no chance I go anywhere fucking near that. So I needed to hit 93. I weighed in about a month ago. I tapered slightly for the last week before, and I gave myself a 3-week cut gradually, and I'm pretty much nailed it, which is good because I've done it all before and I've coached people through this many, many times. So it's just a matter of doing it. And this is a good practice to get into with all this, and it does keep you on track. Now, the other thing to bear in mind, Mr. Clooney, or Mrs. Clooney, I've got a Hyrox 6 weeks after. So I've got 6 weeks to train for a Hyrox after that, after this powerlifting meet. With Yoni Boy. So that's going to be fun. So we're all good there. So yeah, 535 is the ideal minimum that I hit, but we'll see. We'll see how we go. I'm putting a little bit of pressure on myself to do it, and we'll see how we go. Because what's the point in doing a competition if you're putting no pressure on yourself? I would encourage and we talked about this a little while ago, actually, mate. How do I get rid of that fucking thing? Remove. What do we talk about? Oh, yeah. I might be biased here, but remember, I've been coaching CrossFit since 2012, consistently, non-stop, 21,000 hours of coaching hours, training for my level 3. I'm also a weightlifting and powerlifting British coach. I really feel strongly that powerlifting for the slightly older crowd and weightlifting for the younger crowd in CrossFit affiliates is an insanely underutilized tool for training goals that works well within our capacity and gives us something to go for. I really do think more people should do them. Really do. And if anyone out there wants help with it, just get in contact. Me and Jon, this is what we do for a living. We coach and train people for these competitions as well. So if anyone wants any help or assistance or point in the right direction, just get in contact. There's nothing like walking on stage in a singlet, hardly any music playing. You can request it, but no music playing. A crowd looking at you in silence, and you moving to command. Every step of the way is per the referee telling you to do something. And you do it, and you are under maximal strain. You're lifting heavy fucking weights, right? Think about it in a CrossFit environment. We have the music blaring, we have everyone shouting at us. We go down, we hit standards, we can wobble a little bit. We're not hitting to command. It's a very different way of hitting numbers. So when you go to competition, it really does ingrain a sense of intent that we don't quite get when we're doing them in the gyms. So I'd really strongly encourage anyone that doesn't want to do a CrossFit competition necessarily straight away, or a functional fitness competition, go and sign up. They're really cheap. They'll be begging for numbers. Go to a tier 3, which is like the lowest ranked competition. Sign yourself up, train, give yourself minimum of 6 weeks sort of tapering and training towards it. As CrossFitters, you'll have a good sense of it anyway. If you move into standard, you'll be fine. It just takes a little bit of kind of nuanced little tweaking and you're all good. But if anyone needs any help with that, just give me a shout. I wonder how many CrossFit affiliates are hitting all the points that, yeah. And again, I totally agree. These, let's pull this one up. The 10 physical, general physical skills. Have a look at this. If you're a gym owner, if you're a home trainer, if you are a member at a gym, ask yourself, am I hitting these 10 points? How often am I avoiding them? Am I putting less of an emphasis on these for any particular reason? So at the moment, I've kind of dipped away from stamina, endurance, and accuracy, this area, to focus more on this side of stuff for my powerlifting meet. However, as soon as the weekend's over, I'm going to shift ever so slightly away from this top end and go more towards here for a 6-week cycle. This is what we're talking about. Who said earlier about goals? I think it was you, Clooney, wasn't it? You've got to have goals and you've got to train for your goals, but within our remit of up here. That's how we get functionally fit. And also we stay fit for life. Because at the end of the day, and this is what I was talking about, the balance between health and sport. Laters, yeah. Have a nice day, sir. Thanks for joining. You got to get the balance right. It's a really tough one, which is why comp prep and tapering and nutrition are really important parts of prepping for sport, because it keeps us on track within the health boundaries of what we're doing. And if you're not testing your fitness now and again, and you're just ticking boxes, you're not really going to be accountable to yourself when it really matters. So you've got to test yourself somehow. You have to have those tests in place. And the extremes of those are either sport or emergencies. Now, I would rather test in sport than in an emergency. That's just me. I prefer that a lot better. So there we go. What was this? Nice. How much are you going to run it? So I do run once or twice a week now, but not long. I mean, I do a aerobic session on a Sunday, which includes 500-meter elements. A couple of weeks ago, I did half event one. Tyler Watkins and Jon both did it on a weekend. So it was, what was the one at the games? 4-mile run, 3K row, 2-mile run. So we did half that. So we did 2-mile run, 1.5K ski or row, and then a 1-mile run. And I did that. That was a couple of weekends ago. Just examples, just mixing it up, keeping it. This week I've done about 6 hours of aerobic, zone 2 or 3, just to help the burning fat as much as I can and keep the engine and the cardiovascular side sit. I've tapered down to 50% this week for a couple of times on the bars. So making sure I'm moving well and keeping my joints supple for the weekend. But yeah, just generally just prepping. And I like it. I'm 40. And again, like all you lot in here, I'm assuming do CrossFit, right? In different guises. Whether you're 30, 40, 50, 60, whatever age you are, I can almost guarantee when you take yourself away from the affiliate, away from other CrossFitters, you're probably looking, feeling, and moving a hell of a lot better than most other people your age. Those 10 skills, general skills, we do them a lot better. You might have a marathon runner that you know that has got a hell of a lot more endurance and stamina than you, but then let's go back to the other side of the circle, shall we? Let's go to power and speed and flexibility, and let's see how they're stacking up against you then. So again, like I said, last bit on this, that's us there. That's the rest of them. So there we go. Right. What else we got? What are we saying? See you later, Jody. Oh, she's saying goodbye to you, Adam. The title of this was Why So Serious. I've got a clown thing going on this week. So I've got a show on Sunday. I think it's Sunday that I've put it in. I'm going to talk about that. It's going to be an extension of what we talk about and that fitness, wellness, fitness continuum. But today, Why So Serious? I can't help but think, just generally speaking, and it might be the lenses that I see life through here, people seem to be having less fun. Just generally, people seem to be a little bit more serious at the moment. And I think that's leaked into all parts of life. I think people are taking stuff way too seriously. However, there are a lot of times where isn't everyone from? Right. Do you use your fitness outside the gym? Yeah. Absolutely. So we go on a couple of long walks with the kids each week. We go one daytime in the week when everyone else is at school. And we go on the weekend on a Sunday afternoon. So we'll go out, we go cycling. My boy and my daughter's just started mountain biking as well. We do nice long walks. My wife's 23 weeks pregnant, so we're having to slow it down a little bit. But mate, I am totally, we don't go hunting. We have to have specific licenses, and there's only small on the island. It's very small, so we don't really have any hunting ranges. But in Scotland, you can go up to the Highlands and go hunting. Carl does that. Carl Stemmen up in Scotland, the Highlands as well. There are parks and stuff you can go hunting. Over in the Isles. I'm not sure about Ireland. I'd imagine they will. But to be honest, the Brits did a really fucking good job of eliminating all possible hunted animals. So we haven't really got many left to hunt. So if we do, we have to import them. But no, we've got a lot of deer, a lot of stags. But that's about it. And birds. So pheasant shooting. So bird hunting is a big thing in the UK. But yeah, generally speaking, we don't really do too much of that compared to other countries. But I'm totally on board with that. What's the point in it? I've got 2 kids, 8 and 6. I've got another on the way, and I want to be able to do everything with them. I want to be able to run up hills with them. I want to be able to beat them. I want to crush them at everything until they're like able to beat me. That's what I'm training for. I want to be able to crush them at everything for as long as I can, just to set that standard for them to beat. That's what I want. That's what I'm training for. And do you know the beautiful thing, right, about all this is that, like last week, went on a walk and there's a really steep hill on one of the walks we went on, and they're starting to fall behind, and they've done this, that, and the other, and they're starting to walk slowly with mummy, and I'll keep walking ahead. And I will just storm up that hill and I'll say, are you not coming or not? And I'm setting them a target. I'm setting them a standard, and I'm staying ahead of them. They got to catch me up. And I love the idea as I get into, like, I'm 40 now, obviously, as I mentioned 1,000 times. As I go up to 50. So when the same year that I'm 50, my daughter is 18, my son will be 16, and this one just coming will be 10, right? So I love the idea of just crushing them at everything until they start beating me, and then I've got that target of beating them. The way that I see it, I'm in competition with them, and the reason I say that is because I know how hard I am willing to go, and I want them to be harder than that. I want them to push, and with their mum's genetics and propensity towards sport, they're going to be elite whatever they go hard at. So I need to set the standard. So every time I train in, I'm making sure that not only am I pushing in with intent, but also that they can see that I'm doing that, right? And I need them to know that, which is why I CrossFit, which is why I need them watching me in the daytime when I'm training. They are sat doing their maths or whatever work they're doing, or joining in. My daughter can ski for about 10 minutes nonstop now with a box underneath for the height thing. They get in there. They love front squats. They love the Olympic list. They're just moving generally. My daughter was doing gymnastics until about 6 months ago. My boys are fucking savage. Like, I want our family to be that family. You know, that family, like, just fucking crushing everything. And everyone's like, oh, why are they doing that? They're fucking, because they're going to absolutely murder everyone. That's what I want, really. Isn't everyone from the UK serious? So, see, we think that about Americans, right? And the reason I think this is two things: language and humor. Obviously, you guys speak English, but the language that we use is very different about how we describe things and how we go about articulating things. It's very different. And I think a lot is lost in translation in terms of the language. It might come across as more serious, but the fact that our love language is humiliation and ridicule. That's how we bond. Growing up, my grandparents, my uncles and aunts, everyone, it's just one big piss take. Everyone is just winding each other up. And that's how we communicate and how we get on with each other. If ever you've got a British friend and they don't do that after a while, they don't like you. The way that we communicate is just a barrage of shit, and that's how we get on. And I think it's just centuries of class divide, really. Which is why our politics is a little bit different. I was thinking this the other day because Farage is over there talking to your Congress. And I was thinking about a big difference. And the main two political parties are Labour and Conservative. That's the names of them, right? Conservatives, ironically, are blue, right? Their colour is blue, and Labour's red. Now, traditionally, Labour was working class. Labour, it's in the title, like you had on Monday. It's the working people, the factory workers, the smiths, the army recruits, all the working people were Labour through and through, die hard, right? And they were generally the poor people. And then the Tories or the Conservatives, they were the blue party. They were the rich. They were the people, the established people, the wealthy, the nobility, all that kind of thing. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and I'm very willing to be wrong here. I don't think you have that divide between your two parties. There isn't one that's for the poor and one for the rich. Now, automatically, I would assume that the Republicans are for the wealthy people because they are conservative. But that's the reflection of UK politics, because a lot of Republicans are the people in the deep south that aren't necessarily cash rich or got loads of money. So I don't think it quite marries up, you know. And I could be wrong here. I'm very willing to be wrong here. It's just a thought that I had the other day. We have a rich party, and we have a working class poor party. But we've got a long-standing history of class divide in our country. That's been going on for 1,000 years. which is no surprise why the Labour government at the moment are the ones that have embraced a little bit more of a socialist kind of feel, because they are traditionally the working class, but which is why at the moment there's a lot of turmoil, because they have now taken on the mantle of being the tyrants, which is usually reserved for the Tory party that are coming down hard. So we've had this shift, this pole shift, where, and it comes across as socialism, as national socialism. And we've heard that before, haven't we? So this is where we found ourselves. That's why Farage is coming over to the US to talk to Congress about freedom of speech. However, the good thing is it's an election. We live in an election society where every 4 years we have an open election where people can come in. Now, the polls and the ratings at the moment, Labour are the least favourite party out of all 5 that we have. So chances are next election, they will not be in power. All of these changes will be repealed. Now, our best option at the moment is Mr. Farage from Reform UK in regards to, not necessarily my opinion, repealing the acts for freedom of speech that have been put into place. And I saw a video. How do I get it up here? And I absolutely loved it, because no matter what side of the political spectrum that you sit on, in the UK, I'm talking about, right? This isn't US politics. In the UK, no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, freedom of speech is an essential, critical part of politics and our life. And we've had a very good history of freedom of speech in the UK. We were the first ones to have it with the Magna Carta, which is what the Founding Fathers based the Constitution on. But the last couple of years, a lot of that has been taken away through tyranny in the guise of anti-hatred. But what people don't seem to realize at the moment is that in becoming anti-hatred, you've become hatred. You are really fucking restricting freedom of speech. And although it doesn't impact me because I'm on the Isle of Man, it does impact people that I know, potentially. And we've had a lot of kickback this week. And it's like any politics. You have to go from one extreme to another. To get away from this extreme, you need another extreme to kick back towards the middle. So that's what you're seeing. But yeah, it's a tricky old one. If you want, and I had this discussion with a few people in the gym recently, if you want the ability to express and learn, if we want people to truly learn and not just be told what to think, you need freedom of speech. And I know everyone in this chat understands that. So I'm preaching to the choir here. You need fucking freedom of speech, because with freedom of speech, the fucking morons and idiots get outed and people learn from it, and we oust them because they're twats. No matter what side of the political spectrum they're on, they get exposed and they get moved away, because it's a constant search of truth. Freedom of speech is a search for truth. And that's what that is. Anyway, I don't like to talk politics. It's boring. But yeah, I thought that you might like that as an American crowd. I'm Canadian with 3 parties, but the NDP, who say they offer the working classes, are pretty irrelevant. The Conservatives and Liberals are like the Republicans. Right, okay, cool. But yeah, but ironically, the Labour Party coming in, this is the point I was going to make, they've started moves and taxations and levies that are crippling the working class, which are the people that they should usually represent, which is why the opinion polls have gone fucking down, and we need a new option. And whether you like it or not, the only other option, you've got 3. You've got the Tories, that there's no fucking leadership. No one knows who they are anymore. They had a long term in power, and it sort of dwindled. It was all right, but they didn't really do much. And you had Boris with fucking COVID, which didn't go quite to plan. And you got Labour who are doing this shit now. And then the only other option is reform. And reform are reflecting the sentiment and the rhetoric coming out of the US. And to most working class British people that have had enough of being trodden on and not listened by these governments, it's not other people, it's not other humans that aren't listening, it's the system and the government. And we can't seem to find anyone that's willing to do the actual job that needs to be done without being corrupt. And this is the thing that I hate about politics. You only get the same people just wearing different jacket colours. That's all it is. But the one way to ensure that it doesn't matter who comes in is having freedom of speech. That's the only way to guarantee that. And this is why I've always been I've been a proponent of your Second Amendment, because I understand now that that's what protects the first one. Now, from a neutral perspective, are there better checks in place that could be done? Yeah. Are there other things that are problems like pharmaceuticals and antidepressants and mental health issues? Yep, they're the feeder that goes into it. But ultimately, it's the lesser of two evils, isn't it? So that's where that stands. Anyway, so need to wrap this up soon because I've got a client in half an hour. Tonight on the Glinton Things channel. Let me bring it up. Hang on. Oh, I just want to bring this up. Quick. Absolutely loved seeing this because this is what we're talking about. This is what we were talking about and wanted. Where's my screen? I need to see it better. This guy in a CrossFit gym working out with his shirt off. He hasn't got any abs. You know, he's obviously slightly overweight, but he is working hard. He's in a CrossFit gym. He is one of us. He's part of our culture and he's working. He's working hard to get what he wants. And I needed to see this and I loved it. Now, also fix the system, not the symptoms. We are going in a little bit of a deep dive into what that system meant. We're getting it now. Instead of just treating the symptoms of chronic disease, CrossFit embraces a proactive approach, empowering people to take control of their health instead of relying on the system. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. We're articulating. They put in the substance behind the headlines, which is crucial. If you've got headlines but no substance, you're doing nothing. Our methodology provides a data-driven health solution that is built from the ground up, one person at a time. Beautiful. CrossFit affiliates and coaches stand at the forefront of this shift, helping individuals implement lasting changes in movement and nutrition. Fix the system, not the symptoms. There it is. Thing we've been waiting for. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thanks, sir. Have a lovely evening if you're just off now. Freedom of speech, good and absolutely. Yes. Yeah. It is essential. You are not gonna like everything that you hear, but you get to hear it. And that's the beauty. You need to hear everything. You need different opinions. You need different ideas. You need to hear the subjective sometimes. How are you going to go through life unwilling to learn, adapt, and evolve your opinions? You need to. You can't have the same opinion as you had when you were 12. You change, you develop as a human, and you're never going to do that if you're just told what to like, what to listen to, what's bad to hear. Fuck you. I want to hear it all and make my own mind up. Thank you. And yeah, there will be issues with that. There is bad sides of it. You do hear rhetoric and hatred. That's part of it. But if you don't give yourself that opportunity, the other avenue only leads to tyranny. It only leads down a bad path. All you need is a bad person. It doesn't matter what side of the political spectrum on, and they shut you the fuck down. And it only leads to tyranny when you start that slippery slope. Freedom of speech entitles everyone to say what they do. There is consequence to some of it, but it allows you to evolve, and the idiots get found out and hopefully over time flushed away. Whereas the other route is only bad down that road. It might seem comforting and it might seem all lovely and huggy time, but it's shit down that road. It's the lesser of two evils, is freedom of speech. And generally speaking, that is what we fucking need. Yeah, exactly. You can't completely fix it. Just like politics, you cannot completely fix the system, but you've got to work with what you've got, and you've got to use the best knowledge you can. So the data. So what I didn't bring up was there's a CrossFit Secure link in bio. Hang on, let me bring it up again. You go to Mr. Clooney. If you go to CrossFit training post, and you go to CrossFit training, I'm not sure if this is going to open up a new window. Then I go to the page. Hello. Fucking go to the page. There we go. Oh, it's gone to the fucking thing. Hang on. Sorry. Excuse me, guys. Just while we navigate CrossFit. How do I go to the page? Oh, for fuck's sake. So shit. There we go. Got out of it. Right. So this link here is probably going to open up a new page. CrossFit's the cure. I'll bring it up in a sec. So, oh no, remove the wrong one. How do I? Tell you what, I'll remove some of these. I ran out of space to share. Isn't that interesting? Stop screen, share screen. It's only because you asked. So, Wodify. CrossFit was the cure article. You've got all the data. You've got the references down the bottom. There we go. So all the references are down there on the footnotes. You've got all the objectivity in there. So yeah, on the website. So if you go to the CrossFit training page on Instagram, click the link in bio. You'll find all the data or data there. Nice one. Right. I need to go and make people healthy and live longer at the gym, because I am a coach and that's my job. So thank you all so much for joining me today. Bit of a random one, but I will be putting out another question about sickness, wellness, fitness continuum. Like I said earlier, about where you would plot the tipping point, perfect health before we move into sport. So I'll try and articulate it a little bit better than I did last week or this week, because I had a few questions on it and I don't think I did a good enough job there of kind of saying what I wanted to say. I'll try and do my best this afternoon and get that up. If you can, try and like and comment on it, and it all boosts it all, and it gives me stuff to feed back on. And it'd be nice to get some opinions on that. So awesome. Nice one, guys. I will be speaking to you lot. Cheers, Ramirez. I'll be talking to you lot on tonight. We've got head-to-head on Glinton. We've got Kate Lawrence and Claire Bays going head-to-head live. So tune in for that. That is from now. It's now 12:30 and it's at 7 p.m. So 6.5 hours from now, head-to-head on Glinton channel. Tune in down then. It'll be an amazing workout. It's going to be one to watch, right? And two stud women going head-to-head on the channel, which is amazing. Join us then. And then after that, I'll be live on Sunday after my competition, and I'll be updating everyone on how it went. Hopefully it went all right. And then next week, we've got some really cool shows. We've got Chase Ingram next Thursday. The girls from In the Box Office are joining Colleen and Garrett on Sunday night. We've got a couple of really cool guests coming up as well, which I'm not going to reveal now, but they're coming up. We've got an amazing... I've got Matt Souza on next week as well. We've got an amazing lineup on that channel, so go and check it out. But for the time being, watch Savon today. In 2.5 hours' time, we've got a really cool show planned up as well. Really cool weekend with Kill Taylor on as well. So tune into the media, guys. Have a lovely weekend ahead of you if I don't speak to you before then. And I will speak to you later. Thanks for joining me. And have a lovely day. Bye.